tool where you can look at your company's profile versus others in the industry. Probably then it will go deeper into capital allocation and best practices. And I see in the future consultants using these tools and helping their clients interpret the insight and then take action.
Yeah, and I think my view is it will follow the financial services industry. I think we're going to see, in the same way of saying, we're going to see our companies, the ones we trained at, go from high-priced, high-touch consultants that are high cost, that really take almost forever to get an answer to a client, millions of dollars, to something like what John Bogle did. We'll see a low-cost solution, a benchmarking solution, like companies' executive board or advisory board, which are quite successful enterprises providing low-touch, low-cost, and then providing what's called robo-advice. So I think you'll see a multi-model solution, no different than what you're seeing in the financial services industry, offer that type of business model.
We're probably going to see a new SaaS, which is strategy as a service, don't you think?
Absolutely.
A subscription-based software strategy product.
Go for it, Walter.
How can these technologies and methods be applied in the context of startups?
Oh, fantastic.
Startups are lucky because they're starting fresh, right? It's the big organizations that have trouble mobilizing around this. Why don't you talk about that, Barry?
Sure. So the good news is, I hate to say this, but strategy is a known commodity now. We know the business models. We've looked at all 45,000 companies. We understand the archetypes of business models. We understand the archetypes of the underlying capabilities and assets that are necessary to construct these things. So as a startup, what I would suggest you do is understand what type of business models are available for you to build. There's a great article, a good piece now written by Amazon that says, right, hard things, literally physical things like this, are hard to build, other than for Elon Musk, who did that yesterday, right? For most organizations, building hard assets is hard things, right? Soft assets are hard too, but they're not as expensive. Intellectual assets are easier. So my view is if you're a startup company, you need to build the most valuable business model. Today, that's a platform and a network. You need to think about how to mobilize that from an economic perspective to get people to want to be on your platform. And although Amazon and Microsoft and Apple all have the biggest platforms, there are platform opportunities for almost every type of industry that are microservices based. And so I think if you're building a business model, make sure you build the right one and build it for the most value. Question?
We've had a couple of questions related to younger generations. So maybe as a closing question, what advice would you give to college students, people just starting out in their career in terms of positioning themselves for the era of artificial intelligence?
Go for it, Megan. You're a younger person.
Very young. So this is a great question as well. And one thing that's been clear to me is that some background in technology never hurt anybody in this marketplace. I happen to study computer science as an undergrad. I haven't worked in the industry for a decade, maybe longer, but that knowledge is still applicable and still useful, and it allows me to take quickly to these new things. So not everybody needs to be a computer science major, but while you're in school, take advantage of the opportunity you have to build a foundational level of knowledge on key things like software, media, and digital tech. So that's one thing to do. The other thing to do is realize that this is not specialized anymore. Technology is no longer just the domain of IT. Everybody throughout the organization, from the administrative assistants up to the partnership level, the chairman of the board, need to understand how technology works and influences their business. Everybody is using it. It's as simple as, would you expect anybody to not know how to use Microsoft Word? No, of course not. It's a foundational technology to doing business today, and so is artificial intelligence. You don't need to know how to implement it, but you need to know how it works and where it's applicable.
So I'll wrap up for a second, unless you leave Megan with closing thoughts. For someone who's my generation, a little bit older than Megan, I think it's incumbent upon all boards, which is what I serve, to fundamentally think about the following. If every organization is a tech organization at its core, and if data is the fuel of a tech organization, whether it be social information or financial information or customer information or marketing information, at the core, every company is a data company. Even if it hasn't stored the data yet in a profound and simple way to access, every company is a data company. And the only way to mine that data at scale is to use artificial intelligence. And if you think about the big platforms today are doing just that, they're mining our data to help us make better purchasing decisions on Amazon, to make better connection decisions on Facebook, to make better viewing decisions on Netflix. And so every company needs to think of itself as a platform and a network. And from a board perspective, I would suggest that every board member, every leader needs to think about how do I move my company there. I'll turn for Megan for final comments about what does the organization need to do to finally move in this direction.
They need new talent. That's a key piece of it. And just to recognize that artificial intelligence is the new steam engine, right? You wouldn't keep operating in the industrial age thinking you're just going to buy more horses and you're going to keep up with your new competitor. Now your competitors are moving to artificial intelligence. It's more scalable, it's more robust and defensible, and it helps generate new insight. So you need to have it too. It's a new technology, but it's a foundational technology for all organizations.
Thank you very much for the day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hope you enjoyed it. Look forward to seeing you all again soon.